Order of operations is rules that tell us the order to do different operations in math so that everybody's on the same page. So these are the order of operations. So first we do any sort of parentheses. Parentheses, brackets, any sort of grouping. And then next we do exponents. Exponents, I'm going to put slash or roots. So a lot of times we sometimes just think of it as exponents, but also roots are on the same level as exponents, like taking the square root of something. And then we do any multiplying and dividing. Multiply and divide from left to right. Left to right, so we do that in one step. And then add and subtract is our last step. Again, left to right is best. So there's different mnemonic devices to remember this. Probably one of the most common, PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is a common one. Just be careful of this. Multiply and divide have to be done together left and right. And add and subtract technically don't have to, but it's a good idea. Do those two together left to right. So let's say, for example, we have negative 3 squared minus 2 to the 4th plus 3 times negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to look for any parentheses. Within any parentheses, I can't really do anything. I do have some parentheses around this negative 3, but there's nothing to do inside. So I'm going to step 2 right away and doing my exponents. So negative 3 squared, that'll be a positive 9. Negative 3 times negative 3. I'll bring down this minus. 2 to the 4th is 16. And I'm just going to bring down my 3 times negative 2. So next step is multiply and divide left to right. So I'm going to bring down the 9 minus 16, and I'm going to do my multiplication of 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Now I'm on my last add and subtract. So here's where we can see it's helpful to go left to right because I need to make sure this minus goes with the 16. So first I'm going to do 9 minus 16 is negative 7 plus negative 6, which is negative 13. Okay, how about this one? So this one's going to be a big fraction one. So on top, 3 minus 4, parenthesis, 2 minus 5. And then on the bottom, negative 5 plus, in parentheses, negative 2 plus 1 squared. Okay, so this big fraction line, this does mean division, but it's kind of like we need to imagine like there's big parentheses on top or brackets and then big ones on the bottom because this is kind of showing everything on top divided by everything on the bottom. So we'll have to simplify the top and the bottom first. Last is giving me that division. Okay, so on top, parentheses. So 3 minus 4, in parentheses 2 minus 5 is negative 3. On the bottom, negative 5 plus negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 squared. Okay, so next one I do my exponents. I'll do that negative 1 squared is a positive 1. And since there's no exponents on top, but it looks like, you know, all we have is that one spot where we're going to have to multiply. I'm just going to do that right now as well. So we did exponents. Now we're going to do multiply and divide. Minus 4 times a negative 3. That's going to turn into a plus 12. Okay, or it would have been minus a negative 12. Minus a negative 12 turns into positive 12. Okay, now I'm going to do my adding, subtracting on top and bottom. So I've got 15 over negative 4. So 15 over negative 4. This is the same as just saying negative 15/4. So depending on how I want my answer, I could leave it like this as improper because it doesn't go in nicely. I'm going to put or. I can change this to negative 3 3/4, or if I wanted to do the decimal form of this, negative 3.75. So one of those three forms of that number. Okay, let's do one